Hello everybody. Yesterday we completed first part of this TV show Mar Afuera, and we basically stopped on this point when Álvaro he found out his sentence and that he is going to stay in this juvenile detention center. And after his trial, everything was just against, him, and he is about to stay for 12 months. And those 12 months basically are not the worst scenario because Carlos, for example, his roommate, he got 24 months. And as we know, Alvarez's current, let's say already girlfriend, is going to stay as well. So Sarai is staying and Álvaro is staying as well. But there is some basically revelation about the Álvaro's past, and basically Violeta was the person who digging on Álvaro's past, and she basically found out that he killed someone, and he killed his best friend. As we already know, that friend was basically not only a friend of Álvaro's, but his loved one. Even though he likes women, he realized that he's not completely sure about his, preferences. But everybody's just trying to, use that weakness they see in him because he is kind of, the center of this detention center, and everybody just trying to let him down because specifically bad guys in this detention center, they basically see him as a threat, but they act, of course, the opposite way. They try to show that everything just basically is under their control, but they basically already lost that control over some people, But Carlos, he is still trying to protect his girlfriend outside, and his girlfriend basically is pregnant currently, and to keep her safe, he is willing to give up on that relationship, because if he do that, basically he can potentially save her, and this is the only way he can basically keep her out of Miguel. Miguel basically was the guy who was trying to rape her, and Carlos basically stood up for his girlfriend, but this got him into this detention center basically. So he basically came off as the convict, but Miguel basically got into hospital and he's currently in coma, but he's about to get out of that coma. And basically Carlos told everything to piss off his girlfriend and to make her realize that they have no future. So he basically did that to push her away, to basically make her safe. And once he did that, basically he's kind of he's kind of got rid of that burden to worry about if she is safe or not. But Álvaro is still getting in a lot of trouble, and basically this gang within this detention center consists of some guys who have like connections outside, and they basically can put some pressure if you're not willing to, cooperate with them. So they made basically Alvaro realize that he basically needs something, he needs something to do for those guys to be useful, basically. So he can basically do something for them, and this way they can basically let him be within this detention center, and he wanna just make something to protect himself. And Sarai basically suggested that he needs basically to find something he is good at, and this is not piano, because we know that he is a good at piano, but it doesn't make any difference when you're in this type of place, And some people basically do what they can within this facility. For example, some of them recording music videos, publishing these videos on social medias, and we already know this type of activities within correctional facilities, like that was in prison in Alvaro TV show. There was some type of activity when they were selling those videos outside, but these guys, they just recording those videos to publish it on social media, and I'm not sure what purpose of this is, because I'm not thinking that they make any money from that, but it's still kind of activity that they doing basically secretly. And of course a lot of stuff possible within this detention center, because the security measures is just way low than in the prison. And we get some moment from Alvaro's past when he first time actually got that close to his friend, the friend that he killed accidentally. But that accident basically put him into this detention center, and now he's about to spend 12 months because of that accident, basically. And he's still the only person who is constantly getting basically pressured by these bad guys, because every given chance they try him to make something for them, either making bad for those guys or doing some errands. Every given chance they just try to use, and basically they still do not seem like a big of a threat. And the only solution that actually works, and Alvaro found out that once he got really useful, and basically anybody who is useful within this detention center is not in any kind of danger, and everybody is going to basically protect you if you can bring something to the table. If you can be useful, you will be more safe. And this is how it works in any type of correctional facility, as we already found out from other TV shows. So we get another character, and this character is basically a wife of Laura. Laura is in charge of this detention center, and her wife basically introduced just briefly to show that Laura basically is in a relationship with a woman. It doesn't make any difference in terms of the script, but still, to show her character, basically they make this appearance of her wife and Laura's co-worker, who is helping everybody because he was put in this detention center himself, and he spent like his, majority of his life within this detention center, and he's trying to be helpful to everybody who struggles. And he's putting enough efforts specifically into Carlos because he sees him as kind of his son or his predecessor, because he just sees some potential and he feels that he can help that guy to make his time easier in this detention center. And basically he gives him like a job that Carlos used to do as a barber. But Álvaro, he is still trying to get over that situation with his friend who was killed by an accident, and Álvaro is he even wrote some type of letter, but it is still just him trying to get over the situation. And basically he killed him by accident, as we already know, but that situation still just haunting him because everybody just sees that he feels that guilt and they trying to abuse that, that weak point, because Álvaro is still feeling that guilt, even though he did that not intentionally, but he kind of pushed that guy, and that guy basically suffered from the fall, which was basically Álvaro's fault. So he's partly really like guilty, but to get over this situation, basically he needs to shift his focus completely on different types of activities, and not thinking about that situation at all. And the only solution for Álvaro basically is to find someone who can be potentially that person who can make you who can make you shift that focus and not thinking about that accident. And that person, of course, is his friend Sarai. But Sarai is basically not only his friend already, because they already cooperating in multiple activities, including Álvaro starting to deal in drugs, and as a drug dealer he has some potential within this detention center to become finally useful and to get rid of everybody who is trying to hurt him. So basically he found this as a way to get everybody off his shoulders, and together with Sarai they trying to steal drugs from Laura, and they managed to do that while they were in this theater. And yes, within this facility they even have a theater and they can go watch movies basically. So while they were watching those movies, Álvaro basically stole the drugs from Laura's bag, and he's about to basically distribute those drugs to people within this facility, and to sell those drugs, and to give all the money he can make to those bad guys, so he can basically get them off his shoulders. And this business is gonna save his life, or just make it easier. But they're not really happy about that, because he is starting to, find out some things, and he is becoming more, I would say, experienced. So that means that he can potentially just overthrow, or just make, this reputation of this gang shatter. He can make basically them look less of a threat, and he can make them basically finally split, or he can basically set some type of argument within that gang, which is possible, because that gang basically consists of different people randomly put there, and not all of them basically fitting in perfectly, because some of those people basically just out of that character needed to keep that gang as much of a threat as it is right now. So basically that gang is already shattering, and it's becoming less important. But I'm not still sure what's happening, because I'm not even on episode 6, and I still have something to watch. But I already know that Violetta basically is my favorite character due to her activities on both sides. He is working basically on bad guys, and she is secretly working on bad guys, and she is friendly with Álvaro and his friends. I always like a good villain, female villain. And when it comes to TV shows, if there is a good female villain, the TV shows just automatically, securing a good place for me, because I'm gonna watch it just because of that character. And I'm currently doing that because of that character, because I don't really care about this gang, and I'm not really buying it, because they do not really look like they that big of a threat, even though they trying to act like that. But the actors and their age just not completely make it seem like they are threat. It's more like they a school level threat, just bullying and trying to hurt, but not really hurting. And once you just show them that you can hit back, you can just fight back, they are going to just get off your shoulders immediately. And the reason why they are so against Carlos and Álvaro, because Carlos basically hurt one of that gang's member, and he basically put that dude into hospital. So he's still in a hospital, because Carlos basically offended him, but he was trying to protect his girlfriend. And after that situation, they trying to get Carlos out of this detention center and to make him basically meet that dude he offended. But he didn't really offend him, but still they seem that as Carlos basically put their member of their gang into that hospital, and they wanted to retaliate on it. And the only way to retaliate, to get Carlos out of this detention center, to make him go to that hospital and to meet Miguel, the dude that got into that hospital because of the Carlos. And Violeta's character is gathering all the information. Basically, she is like a spy within this facility, and she is trying to get any possible piece of information to basically give that to bad guys. And she is gathering not only information on Álvaro and Carlos, but she is doing that with her friends, and she is basically working as a person who is basically trying to, ruin everybody's reputation within this facility, but for her own benefits, of course. So she is kind of trying to be friendly with everyone, but at the same time she is completely untrustworthy. She is not gonna be a good person after all. But who is a good person? Sarai is definitely one of the only people who can be trusted, and Alvaro basically has her already as a girlfriend, but that basically made jealous Violeta for her seeing this new relationship, and not with her. She realized that she is jealous, and basically she needs to do something about this. And this is why she is so after Álvaro and everybody. Basically, she is trying to ruin something good, and she is trying to ruin something she's not involved into. So she is going to, first she's going to ruin Marina's reputation, because she found out basically that Marina, she basically had miscarriage long ago before this detention center, and she lost her child basically, or she intentionally got rid of that baby, and she is going to capitalize on that and reveal that information to everybody. But first, she is trying to basically hurt everybody close to Álvaro and Sarai, and this is Marina, her roommate. And basically Carlos managed to go to that hospital to see his girlfriend, and this means that he is about to meet another guy who is in this hospital, and he put that guy into that hospital himself. And once they found out that he is going to that hospital, they immediately basically made it sure that he will meet Miguel in that hospital. And of course, it's a huge coincidence that his girlfriend and Miguel, the guy he offended, and the guy he was trying to protect his girlfriend from, they got into the same hospital. And Violeta, meanwhile, she's trying to gather all the information on Marina. And she basically got these papers using her, let's say, boyfriend or her lover. So she is using him basically to get what she wants, to get information on everybody, because this guy basically has one of the guards cooperating with him, and he can get basically whatever he wants using that guard, and he used that guard to get this information on Marina. And basically together they basically made Marina's reputation destroyed, because they revealed every information from her past, and specifically that that Marina basically got rid of her baby, and she did that before this detention center. But intentionally or not, they made it seem like as she killed that baby, even though it was miscarriage or she did that by an accident, but they made it seem like she is a baby killer. So at the same time, basically Carlos is already in a hospital when she got basically kidnapped. But it was just stupid, like how he could go to any place without like protection or guards, because he is just not completely aware of what's happening. And to go like outside, they could have really just, put someone to look after him, because he is still a convict, and to let a convict just go without any protection to go see his girlfriend or his family, he should have somebody to look after him. But Miguel managed basically to get Carlos off guard, and he basically got him and threatened him to give up on his girlfriend, because his girlfriend is Miguel's ex. But this is not only threat, because he basically told him that he needs to kill someone from the detention center, and that someone is basically this guy who is looking after Carlos. And I'm not sure why him, but now Carlos is going to either kill him or just trying to, because this is the only way he can keep his girlfriend safe and his future child, because she is pregnant, and to make sure she is safe, like he's going to do what it takes. But see you next time with another episode, and we will find out what's happening, because I'm currently on episode 5, but it's still 3 episodes left, and you can watch them. Atris Media Spain, this is where you can watch them, but I'm still watching, and after I complete it, I can do another stream, and we can do a short video out of all those streams about this TV show, Mar Afuera. See you next time with another part Thank you, goodbye.